Booking a meeting with a marketing agency can feel intimidating. Do you need a huge budget? Do you need to know exactly what you want? Are you about to get hit with a sales pitch and a bunch of marketing jargon? In this episode, we're pulling back the curtain on what actually happens when someone books a meeting with Moxie. From the first conversation to strategy discussions, proposals, timelines, and expectations. We're walking through the process so businesses know exactly what to expect before they ever walk through our doors. Welcome to Behind the Brand, the podcast for small business owners, solopreneurs, and aspiring entrepreneurs who are ready to start strong, stand out, and stay bold. Each week, we'll take you behind the scenes to explore what it takes to build a memorable brand and grow a successful business. Are you ready to get behind the brand? Let's dive in. Hello, Moxieverse. Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Brand. Taylor here, and as always, joined by the fabulous Miss Kelly Kane.
Hello.
Kelly, today we're going to talk about your strong suit. So I'm going to shut up. You always complain that I talk too much on these, so it's just going to be you talking.
Finally. This is my chance. I'll see you already talking. You're already interrupting me. What am I talking about?
Well, I really wanted today to talk about the consultancy side of our business. I think that, well, one, we have the name creative in our name. Two, we really do talk about our award-winning creative work. And then, three, we have Mo, who is our biggest chatty Cathy out in the world, and he's a designer.
Right.
So I think sometimes people get the idea that we are only a production agency. We only are designing things, making things look pretty. And
that's what people think agencies
Sure,
do, too,
sure,
right?
yes, that. Mm-hmm. But we do a lot more of that, specifically you and I, right? But
yeah, it's not just me.
Right. But that is what you grew up in the industry doing, right? Is that marketing consultancy side of things. And I think our creative is only as great as it is because of what we're doing in the beginning to help get it there. So I wanted to just talk about that today and about what that looks like, why that makes us different, and how our clients can be of benefit by working with us.
Right.
Because of our consultancy arm.
Sure.
So first and foremost, what does it mean to be a marketing consultant?
Well, to me, it means you're doing the strategy part of the project type of a thing. Now, we may or may not be different from some agencies. All agencies have like account managers, and they do usher the project through the process. Marketing consultancy starts like before the account manager gets it, right? So I'm not sure how other people do it. I assume some of our competitors do a lot of this or whatever. I guess one thing that makes us different is I've been doing it for 32 years. And that's where we really get down and dirty into what your business needs to grow. It's not just about selling tactics. Like you need a logo, you need a website, you need to do social media, it's the whole plan, right? It's getting down to that. And sometimes we do that marketing consultant piece and it's things they need to do in-house.
Right.
Maybe they don't even need our creative work.
Yeah.
We do brand platforms, that type of a work, other things like that. So you can hire us just to do marketing consulting too. And we're trying to make that a little clearer on our website.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it's mixed in with our other things. But I think that is a benefit. I'm the elder statesman doing that, but you are the up-and-coming marketing consultant.
Yeah.
You consult clients every day on what they need and how we think we can help them.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of the times I think that we do value transparency here, right? And we're not just doing things in a chamber and not sharing with our clients, we're doing research and taking from our experiences and putting together these strategic plans. So we are showing our clients, but I think that there's things that maybe they don't get to see or they don't understand, okay, how did you get from point A to point B?
Or why did we recommend something?
Yeah. So what do you think some of those maybe hidden things are that we're doing on the consultancy side? And I don't say hidden like we're not sharing, but just like the stuff on the back end of.
But they don't necessarily see it.
Yeah.
One example is I'm going to pick on somebody from my networking group who came and met with me last week. And he's like, I did my own website. I think it looks pretty good. I've got a lot of compliments on it. It has a lot of stuff on it. And I agree with all of those things. Okay. And this is part of marketing consultancy too, is the presentation of the information. And I said, well, it's not terrible. And I stuck my foot in my mouth, and we were friends. And so he laughed at me. He's like, I'm so glad it's not terrible. But he had the pieces there.
Yeah.
But the way it was presented, and he's in the home services category, the photos of his work are beautiful and high end. And his website did not reflect the integrity of his work.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm talking about design, but that is marketing strategy
Yeah.
too. That alone will elevate his leads.
Yeah.
By changing that. But it's hard to him, it looks fine.
Right.
It
Right.
looks fine. And so to try to explain that and why, I'm kind of getting my research behind me and I'm working on that proposal and I'm going to show him. And it's almost easier to show someone than it is to tell them.
Right.
Yeah, those types of things. Messaging, we've had clients say, we did, this client that you've been working on for a couple of years, I don't want to do this tactic and this tactic. Like, I don't want to do Facebook ads and I don't want to do billboards because we did those last year and it didn't work. So the two parts of marketing is the messaging and the delivery.
Yeah.
Just because you had the same delivery, kind of, you're using the same channels.
Right.
What was your message? What was your strategy behind it? How did you deliver it? All those things, we did the same tactics. We did it differently and we were more successful.
Yep.
Those types of things. And so I guess what really kind of concerns me back in the day when I started, you had to go to an agency for help.
Yeah.
You couldn't just do all these things yourself. Ever since the recession, everything became DIY. And these companies are teaching or telling people that you can just do your own website, do your own social, do your own billboard, do your own things. And they can, but it's not hitting the same as when we do it.
Right.
Because we're using all our experiences, all our expertise, design theory, marketing strategy, human psychology, all of these things. And that's something that people don't see it. They don't see it, but we see it.
Right.
And sometimes it's hard to explain to people why.
Even to me, and I kind of think this is like the perfect example of why strategy and creative are important is a billboard.
Yeah.
One, I've been doing this for 5 years. Billboards are still the hardest thing for me. They drive me nuts.
So back in the day when we would do a multimedia campaign,
Yeah.
my boss would always have us start with the billboard because he thought if you can get it in the billboard, you can expand it.
Right. Yeah, because the billboard has to be this and everything
8
else can be
words.
this. I
Yeah.
mean, I think most people would be like, well, there's no strategy behind a billboard.
Right. Just
But
put
I
it
think
up.
if you could show them, okay, here's billboard, like, the same concept, right? Here's billboard A with your 8 words. Here's billboard B with 4 pictures of people. And I really did see this one day. A logo, 4 little pictures of people, then every person's
Name
email,
under-
phone number, and the website.
So
I
they
was
put
like,
a print ad on
I
a
was
billboard.
like, what is happening? And you don't see anything. I also saw one the other day that had script font and you couldn't see anything. And I know that is getting into design, but there is so much strategy that goes into figuring out
So-
what should be on a billboard before you can even get to the design part. And then when you get to the design part, then you have to
Well,
re-strategize.
design is strategy.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing that really cricks my crank or whatever you want to say, gets me started, is that we're not making things pretty for pretty's sake.
Yeah.
We are communicating. Design is all about communicating. And when something is easy to read and you understand it, there is design behind it. And the human mind wants it to be designed.
Yeah.
And everybody expects high design now because it's out there and accessible. You can't tell me, even my kids would be like, look at that terrible billboard because they have seen good billboards.
Yeah, right.
But that client might think, oh, that looks fine. It's got my information on it.
Yeah.
Okay. So design is strategy, and our designers aren't fine artists.
Right.
They're scientists figuring out this size font, this hierarchy of text, this photo, this is communicating a message. Is it the right message we want to communicate? It is just as important as what we do on the marketing side, right? And so that all is strategy.
Yeah.
And that's what we do differently. And sometimes people don't understand if they go with maybe somebody less experienced, or they do it themselves, or they do it on ChatGPT. They think it's the same thing. And sometimes we can't save them from themselves, but it's
Right.
not the same thing.
Yeah.
We are all doing this for one goal, and it's to promote your business and for the best marketing possible. So again, I was looking at that one website last night, like, how am I going to explain this to him? I think the only way is I'm going to have to show him, but I don't want to do it
Right.
until he hires me, right? But that's the difference.
Another thing that I think our role as marketing consultants, and this maybe goes back to your potential client that you're talking about, is, sometimes we have to say the hard things. And that's not always easy. And not every client is going to receive it well. But that is something that we bring to the table. And I think it's important. And at the end of every day, our goal is to make our clients look good, hopefully they'll take our recommendations, let us run with it.
Yeah.
But what do you do in those situations where, you know, you have to be a little bit more, you know, you're going to have to say something to a client
Personally, I
that's
don't
not
have a
fun.
problem with it.
Why am I not shocked?
I'm not from Minnesota, and I was born in Detroit, Michigan. No, I mean, I'm a straight shooter, and people say that, and
Yeah.
I'm not trying to insult anybody. I do say it in a nice way.
Yeah.
This person we were on a friendly basis, and so
Right.
it was funny,
Yeah.
right? But they don't want, especially if they did it themselves. I'm usually like, you did a great job, but we could elevate it. We can take
Yeah.
it a step further and that type of thing. The people that don't want to hear that, then it's not going to work out.
Mm-hmm.
If they think that what they're doing is great, then really, why are they here?
Yeah.
Something's not working.
Yeah.
Right?
Or they think our recommendation that we have, you know, we can show the research behind won't
Right.
work because they don't go on Facebook, so nobody would go on Facebook.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
well,
there's a million reasons why people don't want to hear that. My old boss he'd see a bad ad in the paper, and he would, because this was back in the day, he'd cut it out and he'd mail it with a note and say, something like, your ad's terrible, we can help you. But he had a strange sense of humor. So the people, that's not a best way to get a client, although when I do research, it says, you know, you should share your observations and tell people, or people will tell me this person has a bad website. And I'm like, I am not calling them if they don't think they have a bad website. Like, you reach out to me, I'm not going to tell you you have a bad
that's
website.
so funny.
I
Your
know.
ad's terrible. We can help you.
Well, he didn't say it like that, but maybe he did. I'm just saying that may be true. That doesn't mean the client's going to agree with you.
Right.
But if they ask me, what do you think of this? Then I'm going to tell them, and that was his case, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of people are like, I don't want to help with my website or my logo. I need help marketing. Well, sometimes we have to look at the foundation and like, we're going to spend money on marketing and this foundation pieces aren't there. The leads aren't going to convert.
Right.
And so I think, you know, with the onset of digital marketing has become difficult to explain that to people.
Yeah.
Really tough.
Well-
Yeah. And there's so much information out there. They're like, well, I read this. Well, I'm telling you what's
Yeah. You also maybe read that for not your business, not
Yeah.
your industry.
not your geography.
Yeah.
And that's outdated. I just had to tell clients to say that's outdated information. We're on top of things. It's not wrong. It just doesn't apply here.
Right.
Yeah. It's tough. There's
Yeah.
almost too much information out there.
Yeah. Our job is not for the faint of heart, Kelly.
No, it's
People who
not.
think we just sit around and
Draw all
I'll-
day?
yeah.
Yeah.
Or sit on
That's what Mo
podcasts.
does, but that's not what we get to do.
Yeah, right. From your perspective, why do you think businesses need, whether they work with us for our full service capabilities or they just work with us for, you know, some consultancy services? What benefit does it have for them?
Well, I think they need an unbiased opinion, someone outside of their organization. Obviously, if they knew how to do everything perfectly or they could do what we do, they'd be doing it, right?
Right.
And those people don't need our help. But to have someone outside the organization, which we don't know their business in and out, we can give them an honest opinion. We can audit what they're doing against best practices and give them honest feedback and say how we can help you. You know, if something isn't broke, we're not going to fix it. You know, if your website's great and we're not going to do that, we're going to focus our efforts on other ways we can help you. We don't just go in and plow down everything.
Right.
That's not what we do at all.
Right.
I know some agencies just want to, you know, you want to do everything. We want to kind of fit in where you need us. And that's where the marketing consultancy comes in. So people just hire us for one initiative, and sometimes they're asking us to take over everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we can just give people so much clarity
Yeah.
into what they're doing. And whether that clarity is like, yep, you're doing great. We'd love to work with you on X, Y, and Z when that time fits. I actually just met with one of our clients 2 weeks ago or last week, and it was kind of that, like they were just looking ahead and thinking about, you know, what a new website would look like and when they should do it, and because their site's not super outdated, but I was giving them that clarity on this is, you know, maybe the path that we should go down. We should look at adding this now, and then in a year and a
Yes.
half we can look at building a new site. And I think they really appreciated that, and maybe wouldn't have expected that they could have a conversation with me like that.
Right. I think I just had a similar one where someone had something broken. Well, their online store was broken and they're losing revenue. But I see a need for a whole new website.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's just do the store now. Do this phase now. Do the next phase next year when you
Yeah.
have more cash.
Yeah.
That type of thing. You know, just we're flexible. We're trying to help you, give you the biggest bang for your buck and the biggest impact that we can make. You know, we would love if everyone could hire us for everything, but that's not practical.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the way I look at it is like, you know, we're not just any old vendor. We
That-
can be, but we're a strategic partner.
That's what I was just going to say. We're going to look at the whole thing as a system, not just one thing, right? We're not just looking at your website or your this or your that. We're looking at it as a whole system and how they're working together. I
Yeah.
think that is hard for people to understand too. And they're hiring this person for this ad and this person for that ad, and that person's doing my website and that person's doing my social, and no one is talking to
Right,
each other.
right.
I mean, you
Well,
talk to us and then we,
Yeah, I think
Everything
people
aligns.
still think that that's just how it has to be done, which kind of blows my mind. We met with someone last month, and I remember him saying that, like, oh, I really like that. You know, if I need this or this, like, I can just come to you guys. And it
Yes.
was like,
that's
well,
exactly
yeah,
what we
that's
want
what,
you to do.
yeah, that's what we do. But I think sometimes people just don't know or understand.
Or they just think it's really, really expensive.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
it's not that it's not.
Right.
But I mean, we still price it out per project.
project,
Yeah. And a lot of
yes.
times there's actually budget efficiencies by doing more than one
right,
service with
right,
us.
right,
yeah.
exactly. And for the most part, we're always going to be cheaper than hiring someone in-house.
Right. And we work with some clients every month. I have clients that come back twice a year. Some
Yeah.
people come back once a year when they need us.
Yep.
We don't require retainers.
Right, exactly. So if someone is interested in chatting with us, even if it's just to chat about some consultancy work, what would you recommend they do?
Just reach out. There's no cost. First meeting or two, we'll just chat about your business informally. You can ask your questions. We can ask questions, collect some information, and see if we can help. There's
Yeah.
no obligation.
No. And at the very least, like, you got to meet some cool people. We got to meet some cool
Yeah,
people.
you're not
and-
bothering us. We
No.
love to meet with clients. That's what we do.
Yeah, that's part of our
Right. So,
job.
I mean, I think that's the biggest thing, and we have another episode coming out about this, is that sometimes people are afraid to reach out. They don't want to waste our time, or if they don't think they're worthy, if they're a big enough client. We help businesses of all sizes.
Yeah, all sizes,
We help a
all
lot
industries.
of people launch their business. So
Yeah.
if you don't even have a business yet,
Yeah, call us. We'll help you get one off the
I mean,
ground.
that's the perfect time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we can help, and you might not know what you need to start a business
Mm-hmm.
marketing wise, and we can help with that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. Well, if anybody is listening out there in podcast world and you're thinking like, hey, I have some ideas, or I need some help, I need some clarity, I need some consultancy work, we are here. We're here to help. That's, like Kelly said, that's part of our job. We'd love to meet with you and chat a little bit more about what we do on the consultancy and strategy side. And of course, we can always talk about creative too, because that's where the bread
Right.
gets the butter.
Well, we have the
I don't know.
what?
I don't know. It works.
The consultancy, we have the plan, and then we can do the execution as the creative,
Yep.
or that. Okay.
The bread and the butter.
And the bread and the butter. I like butter.
All right.
I love bread.
See you next week on the next episode of Behind the Brand.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Behind the Brand. If you liked this episode, share it with a friend. If you didn't, share it with an enemy. And make sure to leave us a 5-star review. To stay connected, follow us at the links in the show notes below.